Herman, come on now. Please, that little more. Come on. Why are you stubborn? Please, Herman.
Stay with it, Sarah. That mule hasn't got a chance.
He? Is that you? Really?
Well, why not?
Where did you come from? I mean, how in the world?
Did I know where to find you?
Yes.
Well, I asked the right questions. I heard you were doing mission work in this part of the country. And I managed to have business with the Roberts family.
It's good to see you, Heath. It's wonderful, really.
You're, Sister Jacob now. Sister Jacob. That's a funny name for a girl.
Oh, I've always thought it was a fine old biblical name. Of course, if you don't like Jacob, you have to take that up with Isaac. Of course, if you don't like Isaac, you have to take it up with Abraham. And if you don't, it gets very complicated after that.
Hello, Mr. Roberts. Who are you chasing?
Homer, cut it out. Come on now. What was that for? No need to spell it out to you, Barkley. You know what that's for. I ought to use a gun on you.
Homer, let's keep it legal, the way we agreed. You're under arrest.
For what? For assaulting my daughter.
Are you listening to me?
Listening to you? How can I help it?
I'm entitled to face that girl, and you know it.
I heard you the first 4 or 5 times.
Well, then why hasn't she been brought here?
Are you serious? Carla Roberts, brought from her father's house to face a wild-eyed rooster like you? Uh-huh. You got a lot to learn, friend. You'll have a chance to face Carla at your trial.
And if this is some kind of a joke, I'll laugh some other time.
Mr. Barkley, you are now in Robertsville. You are not back in Stockton with your family to take charge of things for you. Something you just have to get used to. Now, is there anything else?
I want to send a telegram.
Get your piece of paper.
No, I don't mean to say that Heath was ever saintly. Such a lie might bring the roof down on our heads. But he was wild. He was unruly, and like so many of the others, he was even willful at times. Thank you. But he was, he was... This is very difficult to say, sister.
Yes, sister.
He was never disrespectful in the way that they're trying to suggest.
How long has it been since you last saw him?
4 years.
4 years. Oh, my. That's almost forever when you're young. Men change, you know. The world and the people in it, our poor selves included, are so rarely what we once hoped we might be.
Yes, I understand that. But just the same, I don't believe that Carla Roberts is telling the truth. And I don't mean that's something that I can prove, but I mean, I just know it. I feel it. That just isn't something that Heath would do.
Let's try to be realistic. How well did you know this young man?
Well enough to have married him if I hadn't chosen to become a nun.
I see.
Sister, you'd have to have known Heath to understand. I mean, he was wild and he was headstrong and sometimes he felt like he belonged to no one. And of course, those were the times when he was most lost. But he was always gentle and almost unspeakably brave.
Are you sure he couldn't have done this?
Oh, yes, Sister, I'm absolutely sure he couldn't have done it. Please, may I have your permission to go see him in the jail tomorrow?
Do you think it's wise?
Well, no, I'm not sure of that at all, but under the present situation with his family, a 2 or 3 day journey away, I think someone should be there with him.
All right. Take Sister Martha with you.
Thank you. I won't be long, Sister.
Sister, what can I do for you?
I'd like to see Mr. Barkley, please.
Oh? Well, if you're going to pray for this young fellow, it might be a good idea to get an early start. What do you have in the basket?
Some lunch. We do that frequently for prisoners, you know.
Well, I wasn't looking for an argument. Just 10 minutes now, please, sister.
Thank you.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Heath.
I might have known you'd come.
Why wouldn't I?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Bad luck. First of all, I want you to know that what she said wasn't true. I was a guest at the Roberts house, and I talked to her, but that was all. I don't know why she would say something like that, except... Sarah, do you know Carla Roberts?
Yeah, I've seen her in town a few times.
Would you say there was something, well, strange about her?
I think that we're all strange sometimes.
Well, yesterday, I rode out to the stables to look at some horses I came to buy. And don't ask me how she got there or what she was doing there, but there was Carla. She asked me to look at some saddles in the tack room. And I said, yeah, I'd look at the saddles. And she followed me inside. Well, we were alone, and she wasn't exactly dressed to go knocking around a barn. Sarah, it's not easy for me to describe how she acted. Well, I mean, it's not something that you'd want to tell a nun. Well, if anything, she came after me. And I may not have been as polite as I should have been, but, well, I got out of there. Next thing I knew, her father showed up at the mission with the sheriff. Do you believe me, Sarah?
You don't have to persuade me, Heath. I believed you before you began.
Thank you.
Does your family know that you've been arrested?
Well, I sent them a telegram, and I'm sure they know by now. My brother Jared, he's a lawyer. He's one of the best there is. He should get this whole thing cleared right up.
I brought you something. Here. There's coffee and sandwiches and pickles and some of Sister Benedict's angel food cake without the halos.
Hey, you shouldn't have done that.
Oh, it's nothing special.
It looks good. Sure you won't have some?
No, thank you. Actually, we made that same lunch for a man that they hanged 2 weeks ago. Poor fellow. Wasn't much for praying. Sure had a good appetite. I'm serious. Really, it's awful when you think about it. He ate every speck.
Really?
Heaven forgive me for making such a morbid joke.
They hungry? I'm glad you came, Sarah.
I'll come again if it's all right.
I'd be mighty disappointed if you don't.
Goodbye.
Well, what was so funny?
I don't think I could begin to explain it, Sheriff. I'm not sure I understand it myself.
Sister Jacob, come in, please.
Thank you, Mr. Rowe.
What can I do for you?
I'd like to speak to Carla, please.
Why do you want to talk to her?
I'm a friend of Heath Barclay's. I've known him for many years.
You, a nun?
Well, I wasn't a nun when I knew him.
I'll bet you weren't.
Mr. Roberts, I would like to speak to Carla because I believe that, well, at least there's been a misunderstanding.
Sister Jacob, why don't you go back to Sister Benedict? You remind her and yourself that your mission's on my property, and that it's there by my permission alone.
I can't see what harm can come from my talking to Carla.
She's up in her room and she's not feeling well.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps I could come back later.
That won't be necessary.
Mr. Roberts, Heath Barclay is not the kind of man who could harm your daughter.
Isn't he? We'll see what a jury thinks tomorrow.
Tomorrow? The trial is tomorrow?
That's right.
But his family can't possibly be here by then.
At 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, Judge Jonah Bailey presiding.
May God forgive you.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing, Homer. Just hope you're not pressing this thing too fast.
You don't think my daughter's good name is worth it? Or that I'm entitled to some satisfaction from that stinking barnyard rooster who came to my home as a guest?
All I'm trying to say, Homer, is that it might be a good idea not to get too excited. Well, for Carla's sake, even. Carla is a very high-strung girl. Isn't it possible that young Barclay didn't intend all those things that she might have imagined?
What are you trying to say?
Not a thing, Homer. I'm just making a suggestion. There was that other incident I recall some years back. A young fella from Deadlock.
That's enough!
Whatever you say, Homer.
It's better. I like to see the right man for the right job, Herb. That badge looks fine on you, Herb.
Mm-hmm. I know, Homer. I know.
It's all right, dear. They've all gone.
Oh, Papa, I'd never manage without you. What did the sister want?
Oh, some nonsense or other. It's not worth talking about.
It was the young one, wasn't it?
Yes, it was the young nun.
Poor thing.
What did you say?
Poor thing, I said. Poor girl. I see her watching me all the time, and, well, I can't help wondering what she may be imagining. They lead strange lives, don't they?
You're trembling.
I know. It's thinking about tomorrow, Papa. All those people in the courtroom and having to look at him.
Carla.
Yes, Papa.
that thing with Barkley and you, that it was just the way you told me, wasn't it?
You, Papa? You don't believe me?
I believe you. I believe you. What I meant was that I just wanted to help. Forgive me. I never doubted you for a minute. I want you to know that. You want him punished, don't you?
Oh, yes, Papa. I want him punished. I want that more than anything in the world.
I'm sorry, sister. I didn't intend to take so long.
That's all right. I understand.
I went for a long walk. I was hoping I could think of some solution to this. I can't believe that they're going to hold Heath's trial tomorrow. Sister, do you think that he has any chance at all?
With Judge Bailey presiding over a hand-picked jury, I'm afraid that Pontius Pilate with a sword at his throat couldn't serve the truth more wretchedly.
They could take 10 years of his life.
I know. But I fear that this time, sister, there is no solution, nor any remedy you can rely on, except prayer.
I wonder.
What, sister?
Heaven forgive me, I don't know yet.
I wish I knew how to advise you. Suppose we have some tea.
Oh, Lord Jesus, help me. After myself, I'm apt to be such a fool.
Carla, I want to talk to you. Carla, come back. Carla.
What's all the commotion?
Your star witness was just gaping at me from the street.
Carla?
Oh, Sheriff, you heard me. I wasn't whispering her name.
You just never learn, do you?
Learn what? To sit here and wait for a rigged-up trial?
There's nothing rigged up about it. Why don't you just relax? You're going to have to be in that courtroom the first thing in the morning. Just save your breath for the witness stand. Well, sister, you keep bringing my prisoner food every few hours. I'm afraid he's going to get too fat for his cell.
Yes, that's a possibility, isn't it, Sheriff?
Hey, be careful with that thing.
No, I'm not doing this to be amusing. Would you drop your gun belt, please? Go on, you heard me, Sheriff. Drop it.
Sir, are you sure you want to do this?
Uh-huh.
If you do, you're out of your mind. Sister, I'm warning you.
Would you just get in the cell, please? Would you lock it, Heath?
Your meals are getting better.
You'll regret this. All of you.
Where'd you get the rig?
Oh, in the livery stable. I hope you can pay for it when we get back.
McAdoo! Somebody out there get McAdoo! Get him in here, fast! Jailbreak! Jailbreak!
No smart remarks, McAdoo, from you or anybody else.
Barkley?
Barkley, your tin badger, was at none.
A Halloween witch with a gun in her hand.
Sister Jacob?
Her?
So I said it was, didn't I? You men are hereby deputized.
Don't you think we ought to tell Mr. Roberts?
Well, let's hope we don't have to tell Mr. Roberts. Anyway, we haven't got time now.
Take the road to the right.
You know where we're going?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Pop, I saw it. I was coming out of the dry goods store. I saw him escape with that nun. She was in the carriage with him.
Sister Jacob? Well, where was the sheriff?
He was locked in the jail, someone said. I heard him shout until the men got there. Oh, Papa, I'm so scared.
Come on, Carla, there's nothing to be frightened of.
Oh, I'm ashamed of being so scared, Papa, but I keep remembering what he tried to do. I can't help it. What if he comes here?
He's gonna be too busy running for his life. I'm gonna hunt him down like an animal. And that young nun, I'm gonna put her in jail where she belongs.
What do you think?
I think we're getting no place fast. There's too much country to cover. I'm going to go back and organize some more searching parties. You fellows go ahead on your own.
You can tell Mr. Roberts?
Well, what else can I do? You just be glad you're not me.
Why are we stopped?
Rest the horse.
You lost them, huh?
Oh, you can't exactly say we lost him. Our problem is that we just haven't been able to find him. I got McAdoo.
I don't want any of your smart remarks.
I want Heath Barkley in that courtroom at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Either that, or his dead body stretched out on the street for everyone to see.
We'll have him there for you, Homer, if it's possible.
You're gonna make it possible.
Look, Homer, you can't hide a team of horses and a rig and a nun in full regalia like a silver dollar. It's dark out there. We've got a lot of country to cover. I want to have at least a half a dozen searching parties at work by daybreak. That's the only thing I know what to do.
And then stop your talking. Organize your search parties. Here, I brought these men. Deputize them, use them as you need them. I'll pay their wages.
You men are hereby deputized. I expect to use all of you, maybe a dozen more in groups of 3 and 4. I'll let you know where I want you stationed at dawn. Well, you men can go now. We'll see you at daybreak.
You warmer?
Much warmer, thank you. Don't you think we should move on?
Well, the horse can use the rest. So can you. Sarah, why are you taking this chance?
I think that should be perfectly obvious. So you don't have to face Mr. Roberts' own judge and jury. They'll have you railroaded off to jail before your family can even get to Robertsville. You'll be safe at Paco's until they get here.
But don't you realize they could put you in jail for helping a prisoner escape?
Well, it was a matter of conscience. I hope.
What do you mean, you hope?
Well, it's often difficult looking back to be certain of any motive, important or petty. Whether the thing that you did is really what you ought to have done, or is it simply just what you wanted to do. Being honest about those things is really what conscience is all about, I guess.
You're not like anybody in the whole world, are you, Sarah?
That could be a comfort to many. My superiors in particular. Let's talk about you.
Me?
Yes, you. Last time I saw you, you were driving a stage. What happened after that?
Well, I guess you might say things just went along for a while. I had some lumber and mining jobs. Did more than my share of herding cattle. Nothing exciting. Nothing for the history books. Main thing is I found a family. And learned how to belong. I guess you might say that was the biggest. The biggest and the best.
I'm so glad for you, Heath.
You could have been a part of it, Sarah.
That horse must be rested now. We better get started.
Shh.
What was it?
Just a coyote.
Oh.
Not as big as the sheriff, but better looking. Well, nothing like an unloaded coat for emergencies. Is this standard equipment for nuns?
Well, sure, you don't think I could have used that on the sheriff if it was loaded, do you?
Suppose not.
We have a long way to go. We better get going, huh? Heath, what is it?
That could only happen to me.
Paco! 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 I know he's around here somewhere. Paco?
You sure this is all right?
Oh, yes, I know, Paco.
Maybe he doesn't want to get mixed up with fugitives like us.
This is Mission Country, Heath. The sisters have worked here for 70 years. Hello?
Sister,
Hello.
bienvenido.
This is my friend, Mr. Barkley. He wants to stay here a few days.
Bienvenido, senor. My house is your house.
Thank you, Paco. That's very generous. But I think you should know that the sheriff is after me.
And so, we will hope he does not find you, senor. Please, sit. Sit down, sister. And let me fix you something to eat.
Thanks.
Well, let me put it this way, ma'am. If you do know where that young nun and Barkley are hiding out, and you're not telling me, well, you can just pack your mule and be off my property by this time tomorrow.
I have no knowledge of Sister Jacob's whereabouts.
But you do know that she's responsible for a jailbreak, don't you? And she'll be tried as a criminal, sent to prison just the same as him.
Oh, God forbid such a thing, Mr. Roberts.
But what kind of a person is she? Why would she run off with the likes of him? Well, answer me, ma'am.
I am not prepared to answer you at the moment, Mr. Roberts. All I can say concerning Sister Jacob is that in the years I've known her, as a postulant, a novice, and a duly professed nun, there has been no breach of discipline. She's been all that we might have asked.
Well, you can be telling all that to a warden pretty soon.
break it?
No, I dropped a few beads. I manage to do that about once a month. Think your family will be arriving tomorrow?
Well, if they caught that early train to Deadlock and got a fast team. Otherwise, it'll be day after tomorrow.
Paco could find out for you.
That'd be a help.
What do you see there?
I was just thinking about things that probably would be better to forget. Like that picnic we never went on.
Picnic?
4 years ago, we had a date to go on a picnic. That was the summer you left. You do remember, don't you?
Of course I remember. But we agreed that Valentine's Day is over for us.
Well, I don't think it'll ever be over for me. 4 years ago, I was in love with you.
Stop it, Heath.
And with all due respect to your vows and conscience, it still hasn't changed for me. I'm sorry.
I hope so. In the future, let's be very careful that you keep these aberrations, let's say, to yourself. Heath, I want to make something very plain to you. I've dedicated myself to God's business. That's what I chose. That's what I want. It doesn't leave a gap to be filled. My only regret is that sometime I attend his business poorly. Or not as well as I'm able. Heath, I'm very fond of you. I'm not offended. That would be foolish.
This fire was built some hours ago.
Hey, Otto,
What?
look at this. 3 beads on a chain. What do you make of it?
Well, it looks like part of a whatchamacallit, a rosary. It's got to belong to that nun. If we look hard enough, we'll find buggy tracks. You better ride back to town, Combs. The way old man Roberts and Fogarty been itching. They'll want to know about this right away. All right. You two come with me.
Tamales?
They're at Paco's now.
I'm not complaining. They smell good.
Well, thank you. They're almost done. Do you want to go outside and get Paco?
Well, he'll be right back. He just went to get some water. Say, is there anything you nuns can't do?
I can name about 1,000 things, but we don't have time. Hey, would you get me those plates over there, please?
Mm-hmm.
Senor Heath! Senor Heath! Sister!
What is it, Paco?
3 men come.
God forgive me if I blundered you into this. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, Sarah.
best. Look at that map. Go on, look at it. I got men everywhere.
There's one thing about you, Fogarty. You never run out of
Look,
excuses.
Homer, what do you want from
All
me?
right, Homer, what's this all about? Where's Heath?
If I knew where he was, I'd have him roped like a calf. Or better yet, I'd have a rope round his neck.
What are you talking about?
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Your brother escaped from this jail 2 days ago. Now he's running for help with some deluded nun because he didn't have the guts to stand for trial.
What's he supposed to have done?
He was arrested for attempted rape.
I don't believe it. There must be some mistake.
First mistake was made by me, letting that young whelp stay in my house. Victoria, I thought our family were friends.
If you did, you're doing your best to change that.
I'm doing my best to tell you that the girl was my daughter. You'll believe it when we catch up with him. You see him down on his knees to plead for mercy.
I'd like to talk to your daughter.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna let you torment her, too, or invent some lies to
You
harm her.
know better than that.
Don't get on your high horse with me,
Now
Victoria.
you listen to me, Roberts. And I'm speaking as my brother's attorney. Before you choke on that bone of righteousness, suppose you tell me why you think Heath broke out of jail.
Because he was guilty, of course, and he wouldn't stand trial.
And when is this trial scheduled to be held?
It was scheduled for yesterday morning.
Yes. Well, we only got the telegraph 2 days ago. Who was supposed to be here to represent him?
You listen to me, Barclay. This is my town. Your brother forgot it. You'd be wise to remember it.
Your town. You were going to bring my brother to trial within 24 hours with a bootlicking judge and a hand-picked jury?
Before we were able to get here? Why, Homer? Why? What were you afraid of?
Mr. Roberts, I think we picked our trail up this time.
Why?
About a mile west of Bradley Forks. I found this at a place where they stopped. Must have been the nuns. Couldn't possibly be anybody else's.
Let's go. What are we waiting for?
I'm ready. Let's
Sheriff,
go.
are you going to arrest my son? Or murder him at Homer Roberts' request?
I'm going to do my job, ma'am.
And what is that job, Sheriff? To uphold the law of this town or the sacred privileges of one individual?
I don't like the way you're talking.
I didn't say it to please you, Sheriff. And now I give you fair warning. I'm going to go out and find Heath. And if you're bent on murder, you're going to have to kill us both.
Hold it, Barclay.
Don't make it any worse, Sheriff.
I'm not going to have him interfering with the law.
What law, Sheriff?
Hold it, Barclay. Throw him in his brother's cell. Come on.
Head out. Johnson! Feedy! Come here! Get him! Get after him! Get him! Just leave him sweat there for a while. He ain't going anywhere.
Hello, Carla. I'm Victoria Barkley. I'm sure you must remember me. I used to come here when you were much younger, of course. I knew your mother quite well.
I don't have to talk to you. I don't have to let you in the house.
No, I suppose not, but I would like to know what happened.
I already told my father and the sheriff. I don't have to tell anyone else.
Carla, they've located Heath. Now, if there's been some misunderstanding...
There's been no misunderstanding.
Are you sure? They could kill my son, you know.
It's not my fault what happens. He brought it on himself.
I see. Strange, I've never known Heath to do anything like this. Well, he must have been terribly attracted to you. Wasn't he?
I said I don't want to talk about it. And I don't have to.
Was he in love with you?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. You are very attractive. Didn't he say so?
You're making fun of me.
Oh, no, Carla. Why would I do anything like that?
Because you think you're so much. Just the same as he thinks he's so much.
All right, Carla, what really happened?
I don't like you, Mrs. Barkley. Now, you leave me alone.
I don't intend to. I want the truth.
Everybody else believes me. Everybody but you and that nun.
I guess the nun. Now, who is she? Tell me about her.
I don't know, just a nun from the mission on our property. Probably Heath's style.
Isn't that a strange thing to say about a nun?
I don't know. Stop it, or leave me alone!
No, we can't stop now. Not until we know what's happened. Not until we know the truth. Not the things you dreamed about or wished would happen. Your father is out there now with men ready to kill my son because you lied about what happened.
Why should I lie? I've got plenty of beaux. You should see 'em all come courting. I don't need Heath. He was rude. I told him to stop. He became vicious. He deserves whatever he gets.
Does he, Carla? Does he? And will you be able to live with yourself afterwards?
He could have cared about me some. He could have tried.
Is that what you wanted?
I didn't mean it that way. You're making me say things I don't want to say.
And when he showed you he didn't care, isn't that when you lied to your father? Because you did lie, didn't you? It hurt so much not to have Heath's attention, you had to lie.
I don't know. It's all so confused. You and Papa. Maybe he thinks I should be a nun. Will you help me?
Give up, Barkley! You don't have a chance! And we've got him pinned down.
Go on in and get him. I'd just as soon have him dead as alive.
Won't be that easy to get a clean shot at him. No sense rushing things, getting our own men killed.
I'll give $100 for every bullet that's put in Barkley's hide.
in a court you can't buy off. Now, Carla just confessed to me she was lying. Nothing happened with Heath.
You're lying now.
You know that's not true. Carla is sick, Homer. She needs your help. You've known about it for years, but you've been trying to hide it from yourself.
It's not like she says. Tell the men to keep firing.
Sheriff, you talk to Carla. She'll tell you the truth.
You'd say anything to help him.
I'm sorry, Homer. This is as far as I go. I can't help you try to run a bluff any longer. Not at the cost of that boy's life. Combs! Come in over there. Hold your fire. You can go in now, ma'am.
Heath!
I'm all right.
Thank God.
The funny thing, must be the company I've been keeping lately. I had the same thought myself.
I don't think we'll have any further problems with Mr. Roberts. Poor man. He was here this morning. Even talked of building us a new school. Seems he had a very fruitful talk with you gentlemen about things in general, and that subject in particular. I don't know which of you to thank more.
Well, why not try me, sister, since I'm the more saintly member of the family? As a matter of fact, it's my example that we're all hoping Heath will follow.
That's entirely true, sister. Why, this good man trips over his halo nearly twice a day.
Yes, well, maybe we better find Mother and get started.
Yes.
Goodbye, sister.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sister.
Goodbye. God bless you.
You planning another jailbreak?
Oh, heavens, no. We were just talking.
She's really something.
No argument from me. If you ever get up near Stockton, I expect you to look in on us.
If it's at all possible.
Sister, I'm convinced that nothing is impossible for you.
Heath, I'm afraid that train won't wait. Sister?
Bye.
Goodbye, Sarah.
Bye.
You must have loved him very much at one time, didn't you?
Yes, I did. What makes you think I ever stopped?
No. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now, I don't know if you know it or not, mister, but you're on private property.
Well, am I now?
So who are you and what do you think you're doing here?
Well, now, as a private property, I never could believe the dear God intended for men to cut up this beautiful earth into parcels for themselves, holding in captivity all living creatures upon the same. So as to trespassing, there's no such thing, and I go where my foot leads me, which is according to the wind at me back.
All right, stand aside. Are you a lunatic?
Aye, that I am. A lunatic. They locked me away for protecting eagles. For as any sane man knows, a thing of air and freedom must be killed.
Well, that thing of air and freedom has been killing our sheep and chickens. I don't know what road you came in on, mister, but you gotta find that road and get.
Oh, surely you'll not be keeping the poor creature. That's worse than killing it. Let it go. May he pick out your eyes.
You got a horse?
Horse. It's the rich who ride. A walking man is Patrick Madigan.
Oh, a tramp.
From Canada to this beautiful valley, spoiled only by the presence of yourself.
You walked all the way from Canada?
There were times when it was necessary to swim.
Get.
Shall we have another go at it?
You show your tail on this property again, and I'm sure we will.
May he be your private devil, and the two of you in the cage you built for him!
All right, my boy, I want you to take this. It's good prime beef. Come on, take it.
Audra, I wonder what we're going to think of Brother Nick with a face like a lace curtain.
Nick, the book says he's supposed to be blindfolded at first.
The book.
And it also says each time he takes food from you, just as he swallows it, you're supposed to give him a certain whistle.
Ah, how about turkey in the straw?
Oh, now, will you two clear out of here? I'm trying to tame this bird, and I'm not getting any help from you.
You're not getting much help from the bird, either.
What is it, Mac?
You're supposed to notice in Stockton we want to hire a dynamiter?
No, we didn't. Now, listen, Nick, you're going about this all wrong.
Yes, we did. What do you mean all wrong?
There's a fellow out there claims to be our man.
Well, in the first place, what you have to do is teach this bird how to read. What do you mean, advertise for a dynamiter?
The mine, Sundown Hill. While your engineer friend's been poking around trying to make up his mind, I decided to go ahead and get a dynamiter. Do it my way.
Now, Nick, you know you're never going to get the major to agree to that. Until we closed that mine, there was an accident for every pound of gold we took out of it. Now, we just don't need it.
But it's there.
So is the record.
The record. 50-year-old record. They went at it their way. Where is he?
Right outside.
Take over.
Bear a bit on the handle like a good lad.
Glory be. I told you to...
It will be my pleasure someday to open that hard head. Now it's business I'm on here. If you'll just send out your foreman. Holy angels. Is it you I've come to see?
If you're a dynamiter, why didn't you say so out there?
I was otherwise engaged.
You're a pretty good dynamiter?
I have that talent.
Where have you worked? Oh, well, this is my brother Jared. He's a lawyer.
Oh, a lawyer now. Would you care to hear an opinion of lawyers and judges?
Not particularly. Just nice, straight answers. Where have you worked?
Any mining?
Well, now, isn't that where I got my training? Digging English coal to warm English noses.
Well, that's very interesting. But what would you do about rocks so rotten that a mine had to be closed?
Oh, and what's your religion, and how do you vote, and what's the fashion of your nether clothes? Now, is it a dynamiter you people want? I can sharpen a pencil with a stick of the stuff. If my word's not good enough, good day to you.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. Jared, he's already here.
Pay him his time.
The least we can do is take him out to the mine, let him take a look at it, and then he can tell us what he thinks the chances are.
All right, Nick, you do that. Then pay him for his time.
All right, let's get out there.
Well, I'll have a bite to eat first, if you've the good manners to offer it, and a drop to wash it down. And a shirt, for if I'm to dine, I'll not sit naked. And you might modify that master's tone in your voice. You've not hired a flunky.
Air bowls. Weak spots. The whole thing will come down and you just holler, won't you?
Don't move. Was you posted that warning?
Here when we open the tunnel.
The look of Flanagan's donkey. Back. Slowly now. And don't touch anything. Come on.
What's so special about Flanagan's donkey?
Well, he'd browse the edge of the cliffs each and every morning, heedless of the danger. And then one morning, the cliff top broke loose and tumbled into the sea, carrying all. But was Flanagan's fortunate animal there?
No.
Correct. He'd eaten thistles and choked to death only the day before.
Lucky.
A lovely place. Some coal here and there and a few lads dying of the consumption. It would be a mirror of my childhood. I've seen it.
What do you say?
A sensible thing to do? Leave it alone.
Barkley! Barkley! Wilson! Barkley, where are you? Up here.
figure to drop the whole inside of this hill, compact it, and then start again from scratch, open cut mining.
Oh, the torment of the rich, to become richer.
Ah, there we are. Told you we're here. Now, what's all this nonsense about a dynamiter?
Patrick Madigan, Major Wilson, ex-British Corps of Engineers.
Madigan, eh?
If there's a pimple on my nose, would you be kind enough to tell me?
Madigan. Army?
Not yours.
Oh, yes. Ireland. Belfast. Or Dublin.
If it is, I've not committed it to memory.
I understand from Jared this man appeared out of nowhere, as it were.
Came in answer to my notice.
References? Recommendations? What papers establishing that he may be indeed trusted with dynamite?
Haven't you heard? It's become an Irish specialty.
Major, when I hire a man, I'm the one that fires him, no one else.
You don't need a dynamiter at all. You could recut these passages, square timber them.
You said that'd be too expensive.
And at best would only postpone a catastrophe. Nick, this hill is unstable.
Then why not my idea? I know, too risky. He says it's not sensible.
Oh, but did I say I'd not be willing to try?
Well, now, you sure changed your mind quick enough.
Well, now, it's no more sensible than it was before, but sensible is for the man who means to die in bed. A series of charges, each setting off the other, would breach the walls, blow the overhead to dust, and down would come the whole interior, leaving not a space the size of an egg.
What about the water?
Well, now, that would be a problem for the engineer, but one that shouldn't be insolvable with the application of a little ingenuity. It's getting a little stuffy in here.
You're going to do it?
With or without you?
Very well. I shall return to the house and offer every sound reason for abandoning this mad project. And then offer to supervise it with a different dynamiter. Because if that chap is the man I believe him to be, your Mr. Patrick Madigan is a very violent man. And having him on your ranch would be like sheltering a time bomb.
Kelly lay on his back, and O'Brien crawled to him in the dark, and felt for a sign of life. Oh, Kelly, he moaned. Kelly, my dear friend, I feel a wetness upon ye, and 'tis afraid I am to think of what it may be. Well, strike a match, whispers Kelly, and have a look. And O'Brien does, and Kelly asks, is it blood? Tell me the truth, O'Brien. Oh, blood it is, moans O'Brien. There's blood all over you, Kelly. Praise be, cries Kelly. I was afeard it was the whiskey.
Tell me, Madigan, what kind of country is that Ireland place?
Well, it's a land of the leprechauns and the Kellys and the O'Briens and the Blarney Stone. But that's not all there is. It is a land for poets to tell about, not a fool like me. It is the smoke of peat, and it's the slow creak of carts along the road, and the little Connemara ponies. Sweet land it is, though often sad. Oh, come on now, we'll have none of that. None of that blasted funeral music. Alive she is! Alive is Ireland! And what an only to be free!
Sorry to be late. We started decorating the orphanage and suddenly it was 8 o'clock. Well, how are you, Major?
Well, I'm not sure.
We were just discussing Mr. Madigan.
Isn't he the most amazing man? If he's not talking, he's dancing. If it's not that, it's something else. He's like a runaway train. Well, I'm starving. I think I'll get something to eat.
Don't forget to make the hood for that eagle, huh?
First thing in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, I must say I'm not entirely surprised that Audra and seemingly everyone else around here is captivated by his charm. They're all charming.
All the terrorists in the Society of Fenians. And responsible for sabotage, arson, and the brutal murders of good British soldiers. Oh, thank you. Yes, Mr. Madigan is quite efficient at dynamite. His bombing of Clerkenwell Prison, the circumstances of his escape from England, devilish good demonstrations of that fact. But your Mr. Madigan is guilty of treason against the Crown.
Has he been tried?
He will be.
Oh, well, maybe I misunderstood you. I thought I heard you say he was guilty.
Well, perhaps that was a bit unfair, but he is a wanted man, Mr. Barclay. He's a rebel. You told me about his back. Surely that's proof enough.
Proof?
I'm sure he's been flogged. It's customary with these fellows, you know.
No, I didn't know.
It's the only kind of treatment a rebel understands, ma'am.
Major, do you have any kind of official standing in this matter?
No, but I am a British subject. And this man has committed crimes against the Crown.
Ah, but that happened in your country, not here.
But they are crimes.
Seems to me that's a matter of opinion, Major, not fact.
The law is a fact, Mr. Barclay, and breaking the law is a fact.
Well, now, that's always highly debatable. You see, the fact is, Mr. Madigan is a political fugitive. He committed crimes in Great Britain, but they're not punishable in the United States.
And so I've asked you to accommodate me. To, shall we say, immobilize well, shall we say, a suspicious character until my government can arrange to have him returned for trial.
We can't do that.
But my dear lady...
Major, the day I find a name on our payroll that is spotless, that will be someone who hasn't lived very long or very much. People are hired for what we want them to do, and all we ask is that they stay clean here and give us an honest day's work for their wages. Now, you say this man Madigan is wanted, and will we be good enough to move him a few steps closer to the rope? Well, we call that bounty hunting. And the answer is no.
But I've described bombings to you, treason. Those fellows are rebels.
Well, that depends on which side wins, doesn't it? We call ours patriots.
Nick, your revolution took place 100 years ago.
It was a revolution.
Let me say I understand your ideals. I rather admire them. But you see, the chap we're talking about is associated with riot, insurrection, property damage, and considerable bloodshed. And if my country wishes to try Mr. Madigan for his crimes, it will find a way to take him.
Will it?
It's a very old country, Mr. Barclay, and very experienced. Now, I'm sure that we're not going to let this affect our friendship in any way.
Oh, I hope not.
And that I may still look forward to supervising the work of the old mine.
It's up to you.
Thank you, my dear boy, because I expect to find it most interesting.
Oh, you poor beggar. I can't offer you anything but my company.
Madigan! Mac, know you're sleeping out here. What's wrong with the bunkhouse?
Well, it's too crowded and I can't stand snoring, so I'll just take this barn and a little nest of hay.
Major Wilson tells me that you've killed quite a few people with your dynamiting.
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of? Well, now, I call that pretty careless.
The way of the work.
Well, you stay away from that kind of work while you're around here. And here's fair warning. Anyone gets killed on this spread, it better be you. We're gonna have an early breakfast. We'll get the wagon and go on to the stock and pick up the things you need. Come on.
Oh, you do mean to tame him.
Civilize him. Make him hunt coyotes instead of lambs and chickens.
Oh, fine. And as everyone knows, he'll be much better than any of your traps and your rifles.
He'll be much more useful trained than he is now. You take my advice, you stay away from those talons. Good night.
And good night to you, sir. Useful. Not what you are. Oh, stop hating the man. Think how fortunate you are. A home to come to, warm and dry. He'll feed you only the best. And he'll nurse you and hatch you and proclaim to the world how clever you are, how obedient. And what does he ask in return, this kind and generous man? Only that you take a master. That is such a small thing, you foolish bird. Take a master.
You're quite a beauty, ain't you? Breakfast will be in 10 minutes.
Well, do I have to wait for him? Or is there room enough on the stump for the both of us? Come on. You won the first battle. Oh, hunger is a precious weapon, and it costs nothing at all. Fly, you sparrow.
What do you think you're doing? Easy.
Easy. That's it. He's all right.
You'd have let that bird fly off with that hood on him, blinding him, and he'd starve to death. Why don't you come down out of the sky and start using your head?
What? I'd change the habit of a lifetime. Oh, we'll have at it yet. It was written before we were born.
You fellas must be fixing to blow up the whole valley.
That would be against the law. Ah, the times I would have become a churchgoer for a little bit of this stuff.
Oh, I'm sure you've been able to improvise quite effectively, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And such an expert. Hardly needs me to help him measure fuse and count blasting caps. So if you'll excuse me, I have a bit of business.
Bit of business, do you?
Here you are, sir.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, British Embassy. Hey, reckon this town's getting important, huh? Let's see, Hubert Wilson Major Rhett. What's Rhett?
It means retired.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, that'll be $2. Oh, there's pencil and paper right over there, mister.
Did you hear the story about the skinflint who touched off the firecracker before Christmas Eve?
Oh, wait. What are you doing?
And then he walked into the house and told his family that Father Christmas would not be appearing that year. For the truth of the matter was that the dear old gentleman had just been shot.
Shut.
I've been to funerals where the hearse moved faster. Hang on, boys! Hey, easy! This is dynamite! Well, then don't let it fall! Oh, it's gonna be a terrible day for the English! Clear the way! All right, it's good, boys. Over here.
All right, boys, put it right there.
Wet.
Not bad.
Produces hydrostatic pressure of water on the dynamite cartridge.
Dear, dear.
You see, when one plans a series of these, the idea of producing a progressively intensified shockwave. One of the dynamite charges fails to go off. Series is broken. Only parts of the interior will collapse, blocking off the parts that are not collapsed.
Would I be detecting gas in here? Oh, and considerable it is.
Better break it off, boys. We'll clear it and continue tomorrow. Now, what's the blather you're feeding the poor man? The charges I place go off.
In wet boreholes?
Even under wet bridges.
If you gentlemen will excuse me, I have a ranch to run. You'll have to carry your little war on by yourself.
You are the man I thought you were.
Did you have doubts, indeed? You showed none in the telegram.
A telegram?
There. I think I sleep with an Englishman aware of me naked throat.
Impudent. I can understand how you acquire those scars on your back.
Scars? Hey, those are me medals! Oh, you Englishman. You don't see the humor in it, do you? I say medals. And you think, why not? It's where a slave would be wearing them on his back. Well, Patrick Madigan is no slave. My father and his father before him, they were your Irish footboys. They were your Irish slaves, not I. I never bent but to pick up a cobblestone. And when the redcoats rode in to burn our village, reprisal it was called, one of them came at me on a horse so tall, charging at a small lad with a stone in his hand. A traitor with a stone in his hand. And in the flat of that sword coming down on the lad's back, like a whip, till I lay in the mud and could not scream of the mud in my mouth. May my brain rot if I forget it. If I forget the salt tears of my mother burning in the wounds as she kissed them. Oh, what you've done to my land. What you do to us each black day. And do you think 1,000,000 Patrick Madigans will not fight you if it means 1,000,000 will die? Will we not blast your bridges and bomb your courts and kill your soldiers and spit into your hearts until we shake the roof tree of your world? Till out of fear and nothing else you grant us our freedom.
Freedom to do what? To break any law just as the thought comes to you? Destroy property? Play with men's lives? A wagon loaded with dynamite. Just because you think that's what it means to be free.
I came at you.
Obviously. And the 4 men in that wagon. Did you think it right in the name of freedom to imperil their lives? I've seen men like you in the army. Violent, irresponsible, undisciplined. You're a man who must be ruled.
And that's your answer, is it? To all the blood and the weeping and the ache in the heart of us.
I'm not your judge. You'll have your day in court. My only duty is to send this telegram.
You'll send nothing. And you'll say nothing.
Stand aside.
Now here's an Englishman without a whip, and not one soldier at the sight of him. And here's Patrick Madigan, who bombed Clerkenwell Prison and Kilmainham Jail, and never felt the face of an Englishman against the back of his hand.
The same, Mr. Madigan. You'd do better to change your dream.
See how easy that was, huh? You know what the trouble with you is? You just don't know. Too used to being up on that mountaintop, aren't you?
Ah, his master's voice.
You just get in?
Well, it was a slow ride in the dark and alone.
You and the Major still at odds?
Well, not anymore.
Good.
A man came to the mine to see him, a stranger. They spoke a while and then rode off together.
Where?
They neglected to confide in me.
The stranger, what do you look like?
Oh, 2 legs, 2 arms, a head. I was not close.
Keep your hands off that bird.
Well, he's yours. Well, now you're getting the hang of it.
Wish I knew what happened to Wilson. Didn't say anything to you, huh?
A few things about my being uncivilized. And I believe I mentioned tyranny to him.
Nothing about staying in town. Bed wasn't slept in last night.
Maybe the man's leading a secret life.
Wish you had a better look at that stranger.
Well, it's this trouble with my tongue. It's so long it is, it steals the strength from my eyes.
Where's Mac off to in such a hurry?
He's going to get the sheriff, Nick.
It's Wilson's horse.
A sheep herder found him near the mine, Wilson too. He's dead, Nick.
Probably was an accident. He could have been thrown from his horse. On the other hand, it could have been...
Could have been the stranger.
Maybe. This was found on him. It's a copy of the telegram that Wilson was sending to the British Embassy.
Madigan.
Now, there's no proof of that yet.
Well, it was Madigan. It's all my fault.
Where do you think you're going?
Just take one guess.
And what will you do, Nick? Go out and hog time and bring him in? Just have some $2 lawyer cut him loose? Or maybe you'd like to string him up by his thumbs till he says exactly what you want him to.
Yes, I just might do that.
And that would be exactly wrong. Now, I say we play for time.
We simply say that the Major was killed in a riding accident. Now, that'll give the sheriff and us time to check around. If there was a stranger, believe me, he left a trace somewhere.
Meanwhile, what about Madigan?
He's staying with us. He has to feel safe.
And he could be innocent, you know. Just be sure you keep a watch on that hair trigger of yours, Nick. Now, the Major was a good man and a good friend, but we don't want blood for blood. All we want is the one who did it.
This trap ain't waiting for no dynamite. Let's go. All right, get along, lads. I'll be right with you. Madigan.
Well, now it's all there in your eyes. You caught another eagle.
Just keep your hands right where I can see him. We found the Major dead.
Now, think a minute. It was not murder. And I can see that's what you're thinking.
That's exactly what I'm thinking, and so's the sheriff by this time. Now, you gonna come peaceable? You want me to drag you out of here?
Barkley, you've ways of persuasion. But Patrick Madigan is an eagle of another sort. And it's my home I prefer to go to and not any other.
What are you doing, Earl?
Barkley!
Where's the boss?
Are they still in there?
Dead?
Well, if not, it's an ugly way to be going.
Get the picks and shovels. Let's go.
Shovel's not in 100 years. But, Dick, man, for what good it'll do.
Come on with the shovels.
Help! Help!
You hear that? He's still alive. Keep digging.
All right, hold up, boys. You'll never reach him with a pick and shovel. There's life in him yet. There's no time.
I thought you went for help.
I've got all the help I need right here. All right, boys, take cover. All right, give me one of them shovel boys. All right, I best go in there alone. Von Harty's knees might bring it all down again. Well, I've come back for you, landlord. And don't try to thank me.
Why, Madigan?
Why what?
Why didn't you keep running?
Do you want me to stop now and debate the foolish sentimentality of Patrick Madigan?
Why worry any more about me than Wilson?
Barkley, I could never stand by and let an animal be caged, or a human being suffer in darkness. Now you were trapped here without even a window to watch a flight of birds. And that's worse than any prison I ever occupied and hated.
This maudlin talk is only tolerable with a tankard or three of beer, so let's get out of here. I've developed a savage thirst.
Now listen, Madigan, you listen.
Oh, I thought I'd humble myself, but all right, I'll carry it.
They're coming!
Take that arm. There you go. Okay.
All right, give me a hand.
All right, get him out to the mine office. And one of you fetch a doctor. Don't come any closer, unless you like the taste of dynamite. I just stay where you are. Suppose you tell us what happened. You'd never believe it. Try us. Patrick Madigan is not going to hang or be put in a cage. just a piece of wood.
That's all it is. Just a piece of wood.
Goodbye, fella.
I wonder what it feels like.
I kind of know how it feels.
Charlie, you keep on getting off over his head like that, you're going to end up spoiling him. Maybe we'll those bones till tomorrow. Chico, unsaddle him and put him up, will you?
Muy bien, senor.
Think you'll be up to it tomorrow, huh? You take it easy, Charlie. Linneman's just inside the tack room.
Oh, it's going to take some doing to break that animal.
He's a beauty, though. He's going to make a fine cut north.
Perdóname. Who do I talk to about the job?
I do the hiring. I'm Nick Barkley.
My name is Juan Molina, senor.
Glad to know you. What kind of work do you do?
Mostly I am a wrangler.
Mm-hmm. Can you break horses?
A little, senor.
Well, we got about 30 of them we got to iron out. How about that one over there? Like to show me what you can do?
See?
Hank, have Chico saddle up that horse again.
No saddle, please.
What?
Just a hackamore.
Chico! Let this man have a try at that horse. And no saddle, just a hackamore. He's riding him.
He's all yours, amigo. Puede suerte.
Quiet.
me like he's trying to break 'em Indian style.
Looks like.
Heard about it, never seen it done.
How are you now, my beautiful friend, huh?
How about that? He did it.
Have you ever seen anyone break a horse like that?
Si, señorita. Once. A long time ago. But that man, he is dead now. Or so people say.
Mother, I wish you'd been here earlier. I've never seen anything like it.
What?
Breaking a horse Indian style.
Oh?
Well, now, where'd you ever learn to bust a bronc like that?
From an uncle who learning from the Comanches, senor.
Ah. Oh, Mother. Mother, this is Juan Molino. This is my mother, Miss Barkley.
How do you do, Mr. Molina?
I am honored, senora.
And my sister Audrey.
How do you do? You were wonderful with the horse.
Gracias, señorita. Muchas gracias.
You really missed something, senora. So I heard. Perhaps you'll give me an opportunity to see you at work some other time.
It will be my privilege, senora.
If you want the job, you got it. It pays 40 in beans. You can start right now if you like.
Gracias, senora. But first, I must pick up some gear I left in Stockton.
Well, you can start as soon as you get back. How's that?
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
Mucho gusto, senora. Take good care of this horse, amigo.
Muy bien.
Hasta la vista, señorita.
Benito, I'm going to take this to the dressmaker. I'll meet you back here.
Muy bien, señorita.
Oh, excuse me, honey. Been shopping, huh? Now, that ain't very polite.
Let go.
How's about thanking me by having a drink with my friend Pete?
I said let go.
We could have a real good time.
Leave the lady alone, senores. Let her go.
You'd better mind your own business.
I am going to tell you only once more. Let me. You're forgetting something, senores. Apologize to the señorita. Apologize, senores.
Sorry, miss.
Benito, would you please take this to the dressmakers for me?
Seguro, come on home.
Thank you. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't come along.
I'm very happy I was here, senorita.
Apparently you're as good with the gun as you are with horses.
I much prefer horses, senorita. Now that you're all right, I will...
I'd like to ask a favor.
Of course, senorita. Anything.
I have a horse. His name is Ladino. He's a...
Ladino? The one who went wild?
Yes. Well, he was foaled on our ranch, but he got away and ran with a herd of wild horses until my brothers caught him. His bloodline goes back to a horse named Steel Dust.
Steel Dust?
Well, you've heard of him?
Anyone who's heard anything about horses has heard of Steel Dust, senorita.
Well, I want to make Ladino even more famous than Steel Dust. We could start by entering him at the state fair.
We?
Well, that's the favor I was going to ask you. Could you help me break and train him?
Of course, senorita. It's a great honor. But perhaps your brothers...
It's all right with my brothers.
Well, when do we start?
Tomorrow?
Muy bien.
Thank you, Juan.
Thank you, senorita.
Hey, you guys leave some of that time for me, huh?
Have a good time, boys.
Ay, 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 Chihuahua.
What the devil happened to you?
Look pretty good, huh?
Good, you look beautiful. Hey, and he had a bath, too.
No me digas.
Where do I sleep?
Ahí, amigo.
Say, we heard about you stopping those two fellows from bothering Miss Audra. Benita told us.
They were drunk.
Still, I would like to have seen it. Pow!
How about riding into town with us?
No, gracias. I've done too much riding for one day. As soon as I take care of my horse, I go to sleep.
Going to sleep?
Guy that goes to bed on Saturday night? How do you figure that? I'll see you later.
Take care of the girls for me.
All of them.
Did you see it?
See what?
That scar. The scar on the right cheek.
Well, what about it?
He had one, just like that.
Who?
And he could break in a horse, Indian style. And handle a gun, just like it was a part of himself. It's been 15 years. A man changes. But I know it's him.
Who are you talking about?
Joaquin.
Joaquin?
Joaquin Murrieta.
I thought you'd gone stalking with the others.
I came back.
Well, then go to bed.
I came back to talk to you.
What about?
You don't remember me. But I knew you in San Andreas. I worked in the cantina. First time I saw you was right after those gringos had killed your wife. The night you swore that you would kill them, every man who had touched her. And when gringos hanged your brother, Elena Santos came to live with my sister.
What are you talking about?
You remember Elena. She loved your brother very much. Elena, she still works in San Andreas in the cantina, and...
Look, old man, you've got me mixed up with somebody else. I've never been in San Andreas, and I've never been married, and have no brothers, and I don't know anybody named Elena.
You do not have to worry. The gringos, they will never suspect who you are. They want to believe Joaquin Murrieta is dead.
Joaquin Murrieta?
We have been waiting for you. Hundreds of us. We knew you would come back someday. Hombres from all over, ready to ride with you again.
What's the matter with you, huh? You had too much tequila, huh? Joaquin Murrieta is dead. No. He's been dead for many years. The gringos killed him.
You are Joaquin.
Listen to me, old man. You're wrong. I am not Joaquin. Do you understand? Do you? Put out the light.
I brought us some lemonade.
Oh, gracias, señorita.
For you and Ladina.
You were right, señorita. He's a beautiful animal. Watching him, I almost wish we didn't have to take his freedom from him. But then I remembered he belongs to you, and what does a lucky horse like that have to complain about? Señorita, soon it'll be El Cinco de Mayo and the big fiesta to celebrate it. Will you be going?
Probably.
Well, then, perhaps I will see you there. And you will do me the honor of having a dance with me.
Are you a good dancer?
Well, I don't like to boast. But,
Well, maybe we could have more than one dance. Shall we get to work?
sí, enseguida.
Hi.
Well, look at you.
Heath.
Sorry. Well, he looks like he's been harnessed all of his life.
Whose horse is that?
I don't know. Maybe we better take a look.
Oh, Heath.
Señores, señorita.
Dead. I was coming from the south pasture. I found him like that. His horse must have thrown him.
Heath?
Yeah.
Oh, we better get the wagon, get him on back to town.
A man works for us for 5 years and we know nothing about it.
Here's something. Where do you suppose he's kept this after all these years?
I remember talking to him once about Murrieta. To Benita and a lot of others, Murrieta was a hero, a sort of a Robin Hood, avenging all the wrongs done to himself and his people. And it's a strange thing. Benita never believed it was Murrieta who was killed in Priest Valley.
What do you think?
I don't know. I never gave it enough thought to have an opinion. Well, I'll go up in the attic and see if I can find something to put these things in.
Oh, excuse me, señorita.
Oh, Juan, you don't have to go. Mother and I are just going through Benito's things to see if we can find the name of someone to notify. We found this in his Bible. Seems as though Benito didn't believe Joaquin was ever killed.
Benito was an old man, señorita. And things got mixed up in his head. Joaquin was struck down like an animal. And like an animal, his head was cut off by the gringos and put in display like a trophy of the hunt.
Horrible.
Horrible? Why horrible, señorita? Joaquin was a thief and a killer. No matter that he stole and killed only after the gringos had attacked and murdered his wife. After all, why should Joaquin have had any feelings? He was just another greaser.
Don't use that word.
I am sorry.
Nobody on this ranch is considered any better or worse than anyone else.
Please, accept my apologies.
evening, Fred.
Evening, Victoria.
Come in.
I'm sorry to bother you this time of night, but there is something I would like to talk to you about.
Of course, what is it?
That's a telegram Benito sent this morning, addressed to a woman named Elena Santos over in San Andreas. Now, all it says is El Patrio is alive.
El Patrio. The Patriot.
Yeah. Mean anything to you?
Well, if I remember correctly, that's what some of Murrietta's friends used to call him. Oh, surely you don't think Murrietta's still alive?
Well, not exactly, but Elena Santos did know Joaquin. She was the girlfriend of Murrietta's brother, Claudio. Until I read this telegram, I had no reason to believe that Benito hadn't been killed in a fall from his horse.
But now you do.
Well, not necessarily, but Doc Morar says he could have been killed by a blow from the butt of a rifle or something like that, so I just thought I ought to have a talk with the vaquero who found Benito's body.
Juan Molina, why?
Well, Victoria, suppose Molina really is Murrieta. He'd want to keep that a secret, wouldn't he?
And you think Juan killed Benito because Benito found out who he was?
It's possible, isn't it?
Oh, now, Fred, aren't you reaching for something way out on the end of a limb?
Nick, there are a lot of important people who don't believe that was really Murrieta that Captain Love and his Rangers killed.
But the state paid Captain Love and his Rangers the reward.
Wells Fargo refused to pay the reward it had posted, and so did most of the other banks. Now, I would like to have a talk with Juan Molina.
All right, come on.
Hey, Molina, we could use some fresh money in this game.
I gave up gambling a long time ago.
Juan.
Si, senor.
Will you step out here a minute, please? Juan Molina? It's Sheriff Madden. I want to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
The name Elena Santos mean anything to you? Benito sent her a telegram telling her that Joaquin Murrieta is alive.
So, what does that have to do with me, senores?
You lived all your life in the galleys, huh?
See? What are you saying, then? You think I am Joaquin Murrieta?
No, I'm not too sure. I know what the sheriff's saying, Juan.
I want to know why Benito sent this telegram.
Oh, Fred, Benito's an old man. He was imagining things.
Maybe.
Sheriff, to all North Americanos, Joaquin Murrieta was a bandido and a murderer. And that is true. But why, senores? Huh? What made him what he was? His brother was lynched for a crime he did not commit. His wife was attacked and killed. And not by one man, but by 13 filthy, drunken gringos. Rosita was only 17, senores. And she was so beautiful. But not after those swines were through with her. And then they stomped and bit Joaquin and left him for dead. But he would not die. A bandido, a murderer. He was much more than that to me, senores. He was a man who fought back for himself, for Rosita, for his people. You flatter me if you think I am Joaquin. It is an honor to be mistaken for him. But that is what it is, senores. A mistake. I'm not Joaquin Murrieta.
You supposed to be riding fence today?
Yeah.
Forget it. I want you to pull the Mustangs out of Shadow Canyon.
All right.
Juan Molina will give you a hand.
Molina?
That's right. Something the matter?
Yeah.
Well?
I know why the sheriff was out here last night, Nick. All the men do.
Go on.
Well, I ain't talking for nobody but myself.
Will you get to the point, Hank?
The point is, I think you ought to get rid of him.
Fire him.
Yeah.
What for?
Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought something was funny about Molina right from the start. He stays to himself. He don't talk. He won't go to town
So
with
what
us.
does that prove?
Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. But if the sheriff thinks maybe he's Joaquin Murrieta, that's good enough for me.
Well, it's not good enough for me. And no one, you or anyone else, is going to tell me who I can hire and who I can fire. Now, you get to work.
I'm not going to work with Molina. And I'm not going to live in the same bunkhouse with him. I saw what Murrieta did to some men once up in Spanish Flats. He went kill crazy just like that. And well, it wasn't very pretty, Nick. And the same thing could happen around here.
That is, if he is Murrieta.
I've been with you a long time. But if that guy Molina stays, I go.
Well,
Looks like I came by just in time to wish you adios. Now you get your gear and get out of here. Oh, and if you bump into anyone else that feels the same way you do, you tell them to come by the house. I got their pay waiting for them, too.
Buenos días, señorita.
Good morning, Juan.
You're not going to ride Ladino this morning, señorita?
No, I have some errands to do in town. I'd like you to drive me. Would you get the buggy, please?
Bien. Señorita, perhaps it would be better if one of the other men would drive it to town.
I asked you.
But there is so much talk.
I know all about the talk. Hank Mitchell spread most of it out of spite because Nick fired him.
But people believe it.
But then they're fools.
You're not afraid of me, señorita?
Do I have any reason to be?
No.
And will you get the buggy, please?
Muy bien.
You going to town?
Yes, I've asked Juan to drive me.
Oh?
Yes, I want to show the people in town that we don't believe the suspicion about him. Oh, it is all right, isn't it?
You bet it's all right.
Morning, Victoria.
Sheriff?
Audra.
Good morning.
Miss Santos, this is Mrs. Barkley and her daughter, Audra. This is Elena Santos, the lady that Benito Flores sent the telegram to. She just got in on the stage from San Andres.
What brings you to Stockton, Miss Santos? The sheriff.
I sent her a letter, asked her to come over and take a look at that vaquero of yours. I trust that's all right with you?
As a matter of fact, it is not all right with me, Sheriff. However, I can't speak for one. Audra, would you get him, please?
I'm here, senora.
This is the man?
Well, Miss Santos?
No, this man is not Joaquin.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Look at him again.
I do not need to look at him again. I am sure he is not Murieta.
A second ago, you weren't quite so sure.
But I am now.
Juan, would you get the buggy, please?
Victoria, take my advice and get rid of that hombre.
Mother, Juan isn't Murieta. I know that. But I had a feeling that woman was lying.
So did I, Audra. So did I.
Yes, Joaquin.
Juan?
Si, senor.
We have about 3 Mustangs need breaking. Think maybe we can get to it tomorrow?
Si, senor.
Here you had another visit from the sheriff yesterday.
He brought a woman called Elena Santos.
Yeah, I know. Audra told me all about it. We'll be going down to Mexico in a few weeks to buy some cattle. Think maybe we can have those broncs ready for the remuda?
Seguro, senor. ¿Cómo no?
We'll be trailing the herd back through your hometown. I always like to stop in the Gallows myself. See a friend of mine. The alcalde, you know.
Si, Luciano Tejada.
Yeah. Fine ranch he has down there. El Rancho Cañada de San Miguel.
San Antonio. So now you started wondering about me too, eh, senor?
No, just checking.
May I ask a question, senor?
Go ahead.
What if you knew that I was Joaquin Murieta? And what if you knew that
For 15 years, I had been drifting from one place to another, working as a vaquero, and not wanting anything except to live in peace. If you knew that, senor, what would you do? Would you turn me over to the sheriff? But why, senor? Why would it be so important for you to see me hanged after all these years?
Are you telling me you're Murrieta?
No, senor. But now that you've started wondering about me, you won't stop.
Oye, amigo.
Dígame.
There was an hombre here looking for you.
¿Quién?
I never saw him before. He left a note for you on your bunk.
Gracias.
De nada.
This way. What is that game?
It's not a game. I am looking into your future.
What does it say?
The cards see you riding at the head of a large band of caballeros. They see you and your men raiding the ranches of the gringos, stealing their cattle and their horses. They see you robbing their banks and their stagecoaches and their trains. The cards see Joaquin Murrieta, alive.
The cards are wrong.
You are here.
I'm Juan Molina.
And that names mean nothing to the cards. They know the truth. The people know the truth. Go out to the bar. Look into the eyes of the young hombres. Walk the streets, Joaquin. See how the people stare. They know. El Patrio is alive. Benito said it. And somebody heard him and that made it true. You cannot change that. It is Ado.
I don't believe in fate. Put your cards away, señorita. Joaquin is dead.
Hasta luego, Joaquin.
No. Well?
He will be back. You will ride with him. You and many more.
Hold it. We've been waiting for you. He and my friend are going to take you somewhere and learn you some manners. Now get down from that horse. Comprendi? Sure you do. Last time we met, you talked pretty good.
Yeah, and just in case them stories we've been hearing about you are true, we're gonna drop your head off right in front of the sheriff's office.
Now get down.
What do you want?
You know why the sheriff is here?
Yes.
The man with him is lying, señorita. I would be hanged. I will be hanged unless you help me.
How?
Tell the sheriff I didn't kill the man. Tell him I couldn't have killed him. So it will be your word against that hombres. And you will be the one the sheriff will believe.
I don't understand. How could I tell the sheriff that you...
Señorita, you could tell him that after you came to your room tonight, you slipped out to meet me. Why don't you say that we were together until a few minutes ago?
You're not serious.
Señorita, please.
No.
My life is at stake.
No.
Why, señorita? Because the reputation of a fine Anglo lady like yourself is more important than the life of a mestizo like myself.
I wouldn't tell such a story for anybody. Anybody!
So tell your brother to stop wondering about me. I am Joaquin.
Oh, morning, Heath. Good morning, Harry. Oh, you're putting on weight. Morning, Mr. Coggins. I am remembering the name right. It is Coggins.
Yeah.
You know, my brothers and I, we've been looking all over town for you. I guess I just happened to be the lucky one. Funny thing happened last night. We were out hunting all over the ranch for Molina, or Marietta, or whoever he is. He was right there in the house having a little talk with my sister. Oh, maybe you remember Audra. Audra says Molina claims he killed your friend in self-defense.
Well, he's a liar.
Now, look, Heath, I don't want you breaking up the...
Now, Harry, this should cover all the damages.
I'm warning you, mister. You better leave me alone.
Again, you better give me the truth.
So the gringo has admitted he lied. What interest is that to me?
Well, I was hoping you'd know where Molina is.
Why should I know? That hombre means nothing to me.
Well, if you happen to see him, would you tell him he's in the clear?
If I see him. Joaquin, one of the Barclays, the one called Heath, was here looking for you.
What did he want?
He works with the sheriff. So do his brothers. He said he wants to be watching up front when they hang you. Everybody in Stockton is laughing at them, and they intend to make you pay for it. It is true. They want to see your head in a jar. Juan, they say you are Joaquin Murrieta.
How many men will ride with me tonight?
Tonight?
Against the Barclay Rancho. I tell you for the last time, go back to Stockton.
And I answer for the last time que no. I want to pick out some pretty clothes from the wardrobes of the senora and senorita.
No, you're staying here with the horses. The vaqueros were paid today. They will be in town. The Barclays have much wealth, and that is ours. But we leave the cattle, the horses, except for one, Ladino. And he is mine.
I think she'll be all right for the night. Let's go back to the house.
Molina.
Juan? Molina! Molina, listen to me. He's got the truth out of that drifter. You're in the clear. That trick don't work.
Cover him.
Don't be a fool, Molina. Give up. Nick, behind you.
Better get him in the house. Senores, don't let them cut off Joaquin's head this time.
Did he die as Joaquin Murrieta?
He just died, Miss Santos.
But he could have been Joaquin.
Meaning he wasn't?
I wanted him to be. And for a little while, he was. Even he believed it.
Why was that so important to you?
So he would help me. So he would help me pay you gringos back for what you did to Claudio, the man I loved.
15 years is a long time to hate.
It is also a long time for a woman to be without the man she loved.
We killed him, Mother. All of us who doubted him.
I know.
And I could have saved him.
Could you? I wonder, Audra. I wonder.
I thought you said they had their medicine squaw with them.
Well, they did have when I seen them.
There and 2 more squaws.
Let's split up someplace. That loses us nearly $500 for her scalp alone. Not if we go get her. Hutch? What? What'd you say these things are for? Some sort of celebration. Supposed to keep away harm. Don't work so good, do they? Thank you, Harlan. Howdy, Sam. Hey, good trip?
Simon?
Well, some places you think it was.
I ain't never seen you all spruced up like this.
Huh?
Look like you're going to a funeral.
Oh, ain't you the comical one, huh?
Smells sober, too. Are you sure you ain't a mirage?
Sam, why don't you just go about your business and don't be bothering us private citizens?
Simon! Simon Carter!
How are you, Miss Barkley?
Oh, it's good to see you.
Thank you, too. It's, well, been just about a year, I guess, huh?
You look wonderful.
I feel fine. You too. I haven't had a drink since you left. Well, hardly. I did have a few on, I think, the 4th of July and a couple other them international holidays. Oh, I put new shade on the wagon.
Well, it looks brand new.
Well, I just got around doing it yesterday, but I remembered that you'd asked for one, you know.
You fixed up a lot of things at the mission. Father Andre wrote and told me. He's very grateful.
So I just figured I'd keep an eye on things out there for you while you was away, you know. Is this the stuff for the mission?
Yes.
Up, son. Hey, see. That thing's heavy. What do you got, medicine in there?
Yes.
Must be lead pills. I didn't know better. I think you got a bunch of awful puny Indians out there.
Tell me about the hunting. Did you have a good season?
Oh, tolerable, Miss Barkley. Tolerable. Actually, miserable, to be closer to the truth. I didn't have me but about 2 parties all year.
Oh, I'm sorry, Simon.
Now, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of that hunting and guiding business anyway. There you go. Traipsing around the country, up and down the hills, running after a bunch of mangy animals, shaking your boots out every morning, get the bugs and the lizards out of them.
When did you start carrying all these rifles?
Oh, why don't I just kind of have them around in case, you know? Oh, well, sometimes when you get a bunch of dudes coming in from the east, they want to go hunting or something, they come out here, they don't bring no guns, no nothing with them half the time. Okay? Okay, giddy up, Herman.
It's always so peaceful here, every year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure.
What is it, Simon?
Yakkies. I can smell that stinking bear grease they use to keep the bugs off them.
Yakkies?
Sure. I've been coming across the border in droves ever since that Senor Diaz took over the Mexican government. Did you read about it in newspapers?
Yes, but I didn't think any of them were in this area.
That's why I brought them extra rifles. Ah! Hey, what'd I tell you? They must have took Father Andre prisoner.
Prisoner? Oh, for heaven's sake, Simon, they're nothing but young girls.
Yankees is Yankees. They're dangerous. Even them little short ones, them papooses.
Oh, Simon. Father Andre.
Victoria, I thought I heard the buckboard.
Simon didn't tell me you were ill.
Oh, I'm not. It's just a touch of lumbago. Such a pleasure to see you, my dear.
It was good to see you, too.
Padre, what are them Yankees doing out there?
I was trying to keep that as a surprise. So I've been going over to their camp, tending the sick. Well, finally, they're coming here. All the chiefs.
The chiefs?
We're going to have a feast. The women are here to prepare it.
But that's wonderful, Father.
Wonderful? What's wonderful?
I have brought the milk of the goat, Father. It will give you strength.
That's very kind of you, my dear. Oh, Siataki, these are my good friends, Victoria Barkley and Simon Carter. Siataki is the tribe's medicine woman.
Father Andre has told us often of his good friends. I will cool the milk.
Padre, you sure you know what you're doing? Huh? Bringing them Yaqui chiefs here? And then on top of that, that Yaqui medicine woman? Don't you know she's just like waving a lucky rabbit's foot in front of them hostiles? And another thing, anybody with half an eye can see the girl's been... You pardon expression, Miss Barkley, in a family way. And if anything should happen to her...
It's going to happen, Simon. Now, believe me. Come, Victoria, you've had a long trip. Let's have some tea. Oh.
Father.
No, it's nothing. Here. Just let me sit here for a minute. Now, don't be alarmed, my dear.
Now, we're going to take you to town so you can see the doctor. Simon, would you fix a place on the buckboard?
There's too much to do. The Yaqui chiefs will be here any moment now. Simon, I tell you, they're peaceful.
Peaceful? Zazu, they're peaceful. That's why the Mexican government put a $200 a head bounty on every one of their scalps. No, the safest thing for you is to get you back on board that stage, Miss Barkley. You'll be a lot better off there. Now, come on, this is no place for a lady. You take my word. We'll get the Padre to the doctor in town there, and then you head on back to your family. Now, I was looking forward to this visit, Miss Barkley. Really, I was. But I certainly ain't going to get no pleasure out of it, knowing that you might get your throat cut any minute. Now, come on. How's Father Andre? You all right?
Now he has a couple of broken ribs. He can't be moved for a few days.
Well, anyway, it's a good thing you got him to see the doctor. One of those ribs, you know, they could punch a lung or something.
That's true. Well, we better be getting back.
Back where?
To the mission, of course.
The mission? Now, Miss Barkley, you're not going to go back there and be alone with them Yankees.
Why not? Father Andre does.
Now, believe me, Miss Barkley, I know what I'm talking about. I know them Yankees. Me, I went prospecting one time with an old miner friend of mine. He trusted them, too. We let a bunch of them share our campfire one night. As soon as we was bedded down, they jumped us. They tied me up tighter than a tick. And they spent the rest of the night peeling the skin off him alive. Yeah.
Come the morning, it was going to be my turn, only I got lucky. I worked myself loose, and I got me out of there.
Oh, that's awful, Simon. But the situation is different now.
Them Yankees have hated the white man for 200 years. Now, you think just you doctoring them for a few weeks is going to change all that?
No. But keeping faith with him for a change might help.
No, you got the same dang fool notions you had when I met you a year ago. You know what you're going to do, huh? You're going to get both of us killed.
Oh, I don't think they'll kill us, Simon. But I certainly don't expect you to take the risk. You just drive me back to the mission.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure, come on. Drive you back there and leave you out there by yourself to maybe get your gizzard cut out or something like that, huh? Miss Barkley, how could I do a thing like that? Oh, maybe a year ago I might have been able to do it. I don't... When I first met you, you know, I really didn't like you too much. Now, things are different, and I owe so much to you.
Oh, me? What do you mean?
Well, when you first met me, I was kind of sloppy. I didn't take too much interest in myself. You told me that, remember? And then I used to... I'd be pretty good, taking a couple of drinks. Oh, not that I couldn't have cut it out myself on my own if I wanted to, you know. It's just that you pestered me into quitting it before I... All right, move over. Go on, get over there. Go on back out to the mission before you pester me half to death. Come on, Hyman, get through.
Found the tracks. 3 squaws. Head for that old mission I was telling you about. How far is it? A couple hours ride. Let's go.
Howdy.
Yeah, howdy.
Hey, ain't you, Simon Carter?
That's my handle, yes.
Well, I met you down to the Pecos River last year.
Oh, that big buffalo hunt.
Yeah. These here's my new hunting partner. This here's Mitchell.
Likewise, I'm sure.
And that there's Ruiz.
Buenos dias. Tardes, senor, sí.
Well, we was just passing and wanted to see if maybe you could spare some water.
Sure, help yourself right over there.
Take care of it, will you, boy? Are you stopping here?
Oh, just helping out. You know, the Padre's all by himself alone out here.
Kind of lonesome for just one old man, ain't it?
Yeah, I suppose.
You see the horses. Try to get a look inside.
How bien? What are you doing around these parts?
We're going after that buffalo herd in Canyon Gap. 3,000 head. Biggest one sighted in years.
You don't say.
Gee, I'm surprised you don't know about it. We catch up with them, we're going to bag us enough hides to make a couple of thousand apiece.
Zazu. Sure sounds like the old days, don't it?
Hey, it does, don't it? Hey, you ought to come along with us. We could use another gun.
Well, I had to go into town to get my gear.
Oh, wait for you.
Well, now, I don't know about that. What with the Padre being sick and all, you know, maybe I ought to stick around and bring him back from the doctor.
Well, can't somebody else do it for you?
Ain't nobody else, except Mrs. Barkley.
Oh? Well, that's too bad.
Yeah.
What do you want?
Heard there's some Indian squaws here selling Yaqui bluestone. My partners and me want to buy some.
This is a medical mission. We don't sell anything.
I'm sorry to bother you.
It will make a fine papoose board, will it not?
Very fine.
Perhaps it will carry a great medicine, Chief. One to keep my people safe.
I hope so.
to see them?
No. They gotta be in that mission somewhere.
All set, Hutch. Well, we better be going. Still wish you'd come along with us. The more hides, the bigger the split. Sure. Hey, I got an idea. Now, we're gonna be traveling slow to keep the horses fed. You know, following them water holes. If you change your mind, you can catch up with them.
Nah, I just might do that.
Good.
Mr. Hutch?
We'll see. Good boy.
Simon, who were those men?
Hunters?
What did they want here?
It's just watering up on the trail of a big buffalo herd.
One of them was carrying a scalp pouch.
So what? Lots of hunters carry 'em. I got one myself.
I saw him wet it down as if there were scalps in it.
Scalps? Land of Goshen, what a notion. You wet down a lot of things. You wet down bacon, hardtack, lots of things other than scalps.
One of them came inside. He asked if there were any Yakis here.
Maybe he's just edgy about 'em.
No,
like
no,
me.
he wasn't edgy, Simon. I think he was trying to find out if Siataki and her women were here.
Oh, well, what made you think a thing like that? Your woman's injection or something?
Well, he didn't see them, of course.
Well, then
but
what's there to worry about? They're gone, ain't they?
That doesn't mean they won't come back. With the bounty on scalps so high...
Miss Barkley, I told you they're buffalo hunters. I know one of them. I rode with them down the Pecos River country.
Maybe, but I wish we could be sure.
Look, I can't go poking my nose into somebody else's pouch just on account of your woman's intuition. I might get it shot off.
Well, I think we ought to be ready for them just in case.
You mean fought up? Oh, now look here, Mrs. Barkley. Now, forting up is hard work. I ain't got
Simon.
the physical stamina.
Simon, how many years has it been since you heard of buffalo this far south?
Now, you just love to pester me, don't you, huh? And you're gonna drive me right into exhaustion. Right downright into downright exhaustion, Miss Barkley.
Never figured the price of that stock didn't include delivery.
Ah, come on, Nick. You're just not much of a horse trader.
Now, Heath, you never figured out either.
Castaloga's not that far away. It's still a bargain.
Packed enough food for 2 days. By that time, you should be there.
I sure hate to leave you, sis. With Jared in Sacramento, Mother at the mission, it's going to be kind of lonely around here.
Wish you weren't going.
We got to pick up that stock.
We'll be back as soon as we can. Say, why don't you go down to the mission with Mother? Then you two can come back together.
That's a good idea. You can catch a train to Kearney and then pick up a stage there.
Better than staying alone. Come on, there's room in the buckboard.
But there's no telegraph office at Sand Hill. They won't know I'm coming.
So what? Surprise them.
I'll be ready in 5 minutes.
That means 15.
That the last of them?
Yeah. Last Mohicans. It was a shame shaking up good wine for no good reason.
Well, there'll be plenty of good reason if those men come back and rush us.
Yeah, that'll be trouble. These barrels of wine get shot up.
Well, I'd rather have them shot up than us. Simon, there are 3 of those men. I'm just trying to cut down the odds. Now, we'll take turns keeping watch. I'll see you at midnight.
Them squaws know we're standing watch.
Oh, no, they're asleep. I didn't want to frighten them.
They try sneaking up on us, they're gonna be in for a dandy surprise, huh?
Oh.
Old woman. Wait till they start peeling our skin off.
They must have got wise. They got that whole place locked up tighter than a drum.
Told you Carter wouldn't believe that buffalo story.
I think we should go get the squaws. It does not make no difference.
He's a dead shot. Oh, without cover, he'd cut us down like sheep.
That Yaqui tribe finds them dead chiefs, we'll have more than Carter to worry about. They'll be swarming all over here, killing every white man in sight.
We'll wait. Sooner or later, he'll leave to check out them buffalo.
What makes you so sure?
He's a hunter, ain't he?
Rosie's the one girl for me, so fat, she slips off me knee. When she hits the floor, it ain't there anymore, 'cause her Rosie's a size
43.
It's Barkley.
Seems to me I've heard that once or twice before. Simon, somehow the goat got up on the roof last night. Would you get her? She needs milking.
Why don't you let one of them squaws go get it done? I ain't too partial to goats.
I told you I don't want them to go outside. Those men might be watching.
All right, I'll see to it as soon as I finish shaving. Hey, Nanny. Hey, Nanny. Ha, ha. I can hear you and smell you. I can't see you. Hey, Nat. Oh, there you are, huh? How in the name of John Nation did you get up there? You... Oh, what do you think you are, anyway? Mountain goat or something? You got no business being up there. On the roof? Come on, you come on down here with Uncle Simon. Yes. Now, don't you be a ninny, Nanny. You're comical, huh? Come on along now, Uncle Simon, you hear me? Get your nice fresh tin can of tar. Oh, man! You ain't getting back! Oh, this is the end. The goat should be mounted at somebody's fireplace! You... Birthday in the morning.
Simon? Theotaki says you fell off the roof.
Ornery Billy Goat tried to butt me up. Barkley! I ain't got any pants on.
Well, are you all right?
Well, I could have killed myself if I fell plumb in a cactus bush and them needles, you know, they could poison you to death.
Well, did you get all the needles out?
Yes, I think so.
Well, let me see.
Miss Barkley, please. Ain't you got no shame at all? Well, my dear Miss Barkley, you just about seen the handle of this boy in your pasture, cause I ain't no time to spend no time at all. See how much you put up with around here. Well, them kind of apples.
Oh, Simon. Wake up. Wake up, Simon.
What? What's the matter? Alex,
Get up. The floor is damp.
And the Yaqui chiefs attacking?
Oh, they haven't even arrived yet. You're drunk, that's all.
No, I am not drunk at all.
What would you call it?
Well, I made sure. Ow! Ooh! Be careful, will you? I'd like to split my head clean open and my...
At the moment, yes.
A man's got a right to have a few couple of little drinks if he wants.
No, you haven't. Not while those girls' lives are in danger.
In danger? We've been fought it up here all night. We haven't even seen a little bitty garter snake. Them squaws, them's the ones that's dangerous. All right, what'd you expect, huh? You pester me half to death about them Meiji Indians, make me lose out on a nice buffalo hunt. Anybody get drunk.
Nonsense. You're just using that as an excuse because you want to leave here. You've been doing that all your life. Whenever something comes up you don't want to face, something distasteful, you soak yourself in alcohol.
Oh, is that so, huh? Soak myself in alcohol. Well, just let me tell you something. Yeah, and I suppose I was soaked in alcohol last year when you were stumbling around the desert lost, and I had to come and find you because you're too bullheaded to take my advice, huh? But let me tell you, at that time you was kind of distasteful to me.
Well, I suppose even Beelzebub had good qualities.
Who? Beelzebub who?
The devil.
Oh, look, Miss Barkley, now you got no right to cuss me out.
Simon, I know you're brave, Simon, and I'm grateful you saved my life, very grateful. But you had no business getting drunk when those girls' lives depended on you.
No, the only business I got is to worry about them sneaky Indians or them smelly goats and any other kind of mangy varmints that might come down the pike. Well, I tell you, I ain't gonna worry about them because nobody worries about me.
That's another one of your excuses. You don't want anybody to worry about you because you don't want to face responsibility. You're too lazy and too selfish. You don't want to give, all you want to do is take. You haven't changed a bit.
Are you quite finished? Well, that's a fine way for you to talk to me after all I done to please you. Let me tell you, you pestered me for the last time, Miss Barkley. Yes, you pestered me once too often. Just once too often. Good day to you, Mrs. Victoria Barkley. Herman, us two fellas is going for a little clippity-clop.
They're coming, hurry. Now remember, don't make a sound and don't come out no matter what you hear. Do you understand?
But if these men are evil, you will be in danger.
It's you they want, not me. Now hurry. What is it?
It is nothing.
Hold it. Right there. What do you want?
Just a little water's all, ma'am.
You got water when you were here before.
Well, water goes quick in this here heat.
I wouldn't try that if I were you. Now you get on your horse and ride out. I said ride out!
We know them squaws is in there. There ain't no sense in trying to keep us out. You only just get hurt.
Chihuahua? The senora, she shot pretty good. I think she mean business with that gun.
Yeah, Hutch. What are we gonna do now? Wait for her to ride out? Oh, shut up. Probably your fault she got wise and locked the place up anyway. Don't try covering your tracks with my boots. Well, you probably said something when you went inside to look around. I want to take them squaws hours ago. So did Ruth. Oh, yeah, so did Ruth.
Bueno, arguing will get us no place.
Yeah, you're right. Let's ride in, shoot, and take them right now. Well, now, that ain't gonna get the mission doors open now. Is it? Especially her shooting back at us.
You get a better idea?
I will have. All right. We'll ride on back. Before we do any shooting, we'll see if she'll listen to a little reason.
That gal ain't gonna listen to no reason.
She don't. There'll be plenty of time to kill her.
Listen to me. They must not hear, do you understand? No matter how bad the pain is, they must not hear.
I understand.
You hearing me? I'm hollering for the last time. You gonna talk or not?
What do you want?
We don't mean no harm to you, lady. All we want's them old dirty squaws. You just send them out and we'll be right on our way.
I'm not sending anybody out. And you better leave before Simon gets back.
Yeah, well, Simon ain't coming back. And you know it. He's out chasing buffalo, it ain't there. You gonna send them out?
No, I'm not. And you get out of here.
That you're being downright unreasonable.
Now, where are them squaws? Where are they?
They're not here.
Take a look around. Now, you ain't going nowhere, are you, lady? And we're gonna find them squaws even if you buried them. Now you gonna tell us where them squaws is? Or do I start carving on this pretty little filly of yours? Oh! What was that?
Sounds like it's down here.
Maybe you did bury him.
Open that up.
You lied, old Hutch, didn't you?
All right, hold it right there. Get him up. Whole three of you. You all right, Miss Barkley?
I'm fine.
I'm not hurt, Mother. I don't understand.
I'll explain later. Oh, Simon, I'm so glad you came back.
Oh, well, yeah. I hate to admit it, but you was right about them buffalo. I rode halfway to Canyon Gap. Not a sign of them, but I did see some tracks doubling back. Their tracks. I figured you might need me. Where'd that one come from?
Oh, this is my daughter, Audra.
Hello.
Likewise, I'm sure. You got enough trouble with one female, you got to team up, ride double saddle to best of me.
Simon, excuse me. There's a baby about to be born.
Oh. Well, they was down there, huh? Her mother of yours. Ain't there nothing she can do? She's something. She's really something. And so, dear Father, we ask, please, that you help them find some peace, some kindness. They really got it coming to them. Oh, yes, and one more thing. Would you make sure that they know how awful sorry we all are? Amen.
That was very nice, Simon.
Thank you, Miss Barkley. It certainly ain't no match for Father Andre, but I guess it was a halfway decent burial, huh?
Yes. We owe much to your brave heart. When this moon ends, you will come to our camp to become blood brother to our chief. My tribe will be honored to have such a brave Yaqui warrior.
That's a real honor, Mr. Carter. From what I understand, that means they consider you a great hero.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not sure I mind that so much, but I sure never figured I'd wind up being a Yaqui.
Neither did I, Simon. Neither did I.
Excuse me.
Well, I'll try.
Which one is Barkley?
Fellow with his back to the stove.
Thank you.
Cattle prices drop off any more like this, pretty soon we'll have to pay them to take our beef.
It'll get better. Before it gets worse.
Howdy. Is this chair occupied?
We're playing poker, mister.
I'd hope so.
For money.
It's the only way to play.
Is that you smelling like that?
Eau de cologne. Makes a good bracer.
I reckon it does. You're making my eyes water, mister.
Freeman. Josiah Freeman.
Oh, this is Carl Wheeler. Dan Kelsey. And
I know who you are, sir. I'd venture to say that so do most in Northern California.
Oh, really?
Cards? Oh, 3, please.
2.
Same.
My bet? I bet $2.
$2. And 3. Make 5.
Too rich for me.
I'll raise you 20. I'm light $20, shy 20.
Must be some hand you got there, Mr. Freeman.
I'm afraid so.
I'll just call your $20 raise.
Can you beat a pair of 8s?
That all?
I'm afraid so.
Full house.
You win. Oh, I owe you $20.
You play poker often, Mr. Freeman?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Still got a ranch, huh?
If you'll just countersign these both copies, Mr. Barkley, I'll be on my way.
How much is this?
Well, it's a note of transfer. Unfortunately, I'm out of currency, and I'm forced to sign over 20 head of prime JF stock to you.
Well, all right. But first thing tomorrow morning, you better deliver that 20 head of prime JF stock, or you're going to be known as the late Josiah Freeman.
Don't worry. You take... Nick Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
You're Jared Barkley.
No, Nick. Jared's my brother, you know?
Not as well as I thought. Are you anything like your brother?
Different as night and day. Now, Jared, he'd even try to reason with a fence post. But Nick here, he'd sooner bust it in 2.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
What's that?
Proverbs. Try to be more like your brother.
Audrey, you look lovely.
Isn't that just a trifle formal for breakfast?
Carl's taking me to a dance tomorrow night. If he's in any condition to dance after you kept him out all last night playing poker.
That sounds like... That's what it sounds like.
Good morning. I just
walking vermin off my land. Off. They're yours. Mine.
I'm paying my debt.
Not with those, you're not.
But you signed a note of transfer.
I signed for cattle. Them are not cattle.
What are they doing here, Nick?
What do they look like?
Where'd they come from?
Well, how do I know where they come from?
I'm sorry, there's been a slight misunderstanding.
Look, I didn't know what I was signing for. You said JF stock. JF stock.
Well, they are JFs.
They are not stock. They're sheep. And they stink. No wonder you came into that saloon smelling like a flower patch in the middle of July.
Well, it's been pleasant visiting with you.
Yeah, give me that. Jared.
What can I do for you, Nick?
This isn't legal, is it?
Is that your signature?
You know it's my signature.
Well, then I'm afraid it's legal.
But I don't want them.
You've got them.
If there's anything I can do...
I think the best thing you can do is just be on your way.
One thing I can't stand more than sheep, it's a sheep herder.
They'll grow on you.
So you're the only one he couldn't bluff out of that poker game. Is that right, Nick?
That was the last time I played poker with a man that carries a purse.
Well, just what do you plan to do with these poor little critters?
Drive them to the slaughter. That's what I plan to do.
You know we're right in the middle of a little thing called a roundup.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take 2 men off of that little thing and put them on this little thing.
And until tomorrow? I think they're hungry.
They're not eating on my range.
I hope you get them to slaughter before they starve to death.
Come on, give me a hand.
I got cattle to tend to.
Don't look at me. I have very urgent business to take care of.
I'd better fix my hem.
Shut up.
Did I just ride through a mirage, or are
You
those...
saw just what you thought you saw. And it's taken me all morning to round these mangy things up.
What are you doing, Nick? Branching out?
Come on, get out. That perfumed character we played poker with last night paid me off in sheep.
Some people might not understand, Nick. They might say the Barclays are hedging their bet. Cattle prices drop off, and the first thing they do is jump feet first into the sheep.
Oh, no, not a chance.
Well, I know that, Nick. Some people might point out that when you came to this valley, you were cattlemen. You went into mining, then vineyards, then sugar beets, and now,
No. The people that know me know I hate sheep just as much as they do.
Then get rid of them.
Tomorrow morning, when the sun comes over that rise there, the minute the sun comes over that rise, those sheep are heading for the slaughterhouse.
Good. Because all they need is a foothold.
Who's they?
Sheep herders. You hang on to these sheep, and every sneaking sheep herder within walking distance will be swarming all over this valley. And you know what happens when sheep move into a place.
I know.
It's not fit for cattle or anything else. They chew the grass right down to the roots. The cattle starve, and so do the people who own them. You might say all of us have a stake in what you do.
How many ways do I have to say it? They're leaving tomorrow morning.
Just so you know. The longer they're around, the more people aren't going to believe you mean what you say. Well, too bad you'll have to miss the dance tomorrow night. But you can tell me how those sheep like the butcher's axe when you get back.
Thank you.
You're late, Heath.
There are 500 head of cattle scattered all over our range.
What happened?
Well, his sheep wandered down into the draw and spooked our herd.
They are not my sheep.
Well, whose ever sheep they are, they just cost us 3 days' work.
Well, I can't watch those useless animals day and night.
Well, then find somebody that can.
Nick,
Why?
from what I hear, a good sheepdog can handle a flock 10 times the size of yours.
Without so much as raising a sweat.
Which is more than we can say for you, Nick.
Well, now, you all tell me, in the middle of cattle country, where am I going to find a sheepdog?
Try the same fella you got sheep from.
No!
Nick, do you want those sheep around here till the end of roundup? 10 or 12 more days?
He'd probably want me to play poker for the dog, and I'd wind up with his whole blasted herd of sheep.
All right, Nick, what's your alternative?
Some more, please.
We're waiting, Nick.
I'll see him first thing in the morning.
Audra, how come we've never had stew like this before?
We've never had lamb before.
Freeman! Freeman? Freeman?
Well, hello there. No, don't be afraid. I'm looking for Mr. Freeman. Freeman. I'm Nick Bartley.
Darn.
Darn.
Oh, Mr. Barkley, what a pleasant surprise.
You win, Uncle Josiah. Here's the dime.
This is my niece, Gail.
I want to buy your dog.
Oh, sorry if you had come a little sooner. I had 2 dogs less than a month ago.
Well, I didn't have any sheep a month ago. I'll give you $20.
What would happen to my flock?
Well, I tried. That's about the best a man can
But
do.
I have a suggestion.
What?
Your sheep were part of mine just a day ago. My dog would have no trouble taking care of them.
You mean combine your flock with my sheep?
I need help. All I ask is a place to sleep and a reasonable amount of food for Gail and myself.
You want to bring your flock over to my range?
Well, you have better grass.
Well, now, wait.
And it would be much safer.
$50, that's my final offer.
Whiskey.
I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Why not?
Well, I figured you'd still be driving those sheep to slaughter.
I got thirsty. Whiskey, come on.
Look, they'll break up my place. They'll put me out of business. I just can't serve a sheep man, not in this town.
Now, you call me that one more time, and I'll tear this place up.
Bah!
Hey, Kelsey, why don't you ask that sheep man to move downwind a little bit?
Sheep man, you're making my friend here sick.
Guess I'm lucky. I got a cold.
Now, when I get back here, I want to see a bottle and a glass waiting for me. All right? Now, are you the gentleman with the cold?
Yeah, well, it don't help much when you get this close.
Well, now, maybe I can fix that. Carl.
Oh, come on, fellas.
It's your turn, Carl.
No, not me, Nick.
Well, I guess it's mine.
knew this was going to happen?
You may pour my drink.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barkley. You're the cause of all this, huh? You.
How do you feel, Mr. Barkley?
Let you know as soon as I find out who's standing on my face.
We did the best we could.
Thank you.
Gail, run outside and empty the water.
She doesn't smile too much, does she?
Oh, she hasn't found too much to smile about.
Well, 5 will get you 10. My sister will have her giggling as soon as she walks through our front door.
What?
Well, that is, if your offer still holds, my range for your sheepdog.
After what those men did to you?
Well, now, that was a little misunderstanding, is all.
Can I come back yet?
Just as soon as your uncle says yes. Well?
Gail, we're going to stay with Mr. Barkley for a while.
Here's the dime, Uncle Josiah.
Say, is this a private game or can anyone get in?
I think we better start packing. Would you help me with the trunk?
All right, sure.
Fix up your things. Get them together, Gail. Right over here, mister.
You can make it, yeah. Is that your peddler's wagon outside?
Part of my checkered past.
How'd you ever find time for the sheep business?
Well, I'm a peddler by trade, a sheep herder by misfortune.
Oh, someone paid you off with them, huh?
Well, the misfortune belonged to Gail's parents. They were under the mistaken belief that open range meant just that. So they settled here with their sheep.
Well, this is cattle country, you know.
Took the cattlemen some months to convince them of that. Mr. Barkley, the day that I stopped here with my wagon to get some water, that barn was burning. Gail's parents, her mother and father, most of the sheep were dead. I heard her crying.
Mama made me hide in the cellar when they came.
Don't forget your doll. The whole thing was so cruel, so senseless.
But you stayed.
Of course I stayed. She had no relatives. I was tired of wearing out the seat of my trousers selling pots and pans. I love her, Mr. Barkley. I love her like she was my own. And in a way she is. Now.
Well, now. You better get going. I want to get into town before dark.
Why are we going to town?
Because we're going to drive our sheep right through the middle of it.
Nick, did you have to drive those sheep right down the middle of the street?
Yes.
Why?
It's against the law to drive them down the sidewalk.
Now, Nick, I want you to
I
listen
wanted
to me.
everybody to know
That you're in the sheep business.
Ah, now you've got it.
All right, Nick, you've got pride. Now, that's just fine. But you're about to take on this entire valley. Do you think you're big enough?
Might be interesting to find out.
Nick, you've seen a range war before. They start just about like this. One fella does one fool thing, like driving sheep into cattle country, and another fella does something a little more foolish, like shooting him. And before you know it, you've got a full-size range war on your hands.
That a fact. That's a war nobody wins, Nick. Everybody loses. Not only men, women, and children, but entire herds, and it never ends.
Those sheep are on our land, Jared, our land. And none of them Jaspers in town are going to tell me what I can or can't do. Those sheep aren't spooking anybody else's cattle, and they're not chewing up anybody else's range. And there's no reason for anybody's feelings to be hurt.
Did that argument convince Carl Wheeler, or did you have to sell him some other way?
What Carl Wheeler thinks doesn't matter.
I'm afraid it does, Nick. Because the entire valley is behind it.
All right. All right, I'll talk to Carl Wheeler as soon as he brings Audra home tonight. Maybe I can talk some sense into him. All right?
Mrs. Barkley,
Yes, Mr. Freeman.
I was just on my way to the herd, and
Oh, wouldn't you like a glass of sherry?
Thank you very much. Gail isn't getting in the way, is she?
Oh, no. She's upstairs helping Audra get dressed.
I appreciate you taking her into the house. Since her parents died, I'm the only one she's had. I know I'm not the ideal person to talk to her about dresses and things that girls want to talk about.
I think you've done very well.
Mrs. Barkley, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
That fight that Mr. Barkley had, those men were his friends, weren't they?
Yes.
Well, why would his friends want to attack him? He's one of them.
Not anymore.
Was it because of the sheep?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first chose, I mean, when I first thought...
What did you think, Mr. Freeman?
The Barkleys are so big, so powerful, surely no one would dare attack them, even if they did bring a few sheep into the valley.
How long have you lived in the West?
10 years?
Well, that should have been time enough.
For what?
For you to learn that there's no one so big, so powerful, that he can change the hates and prejudices of a lifetime. At least not without a fight.
Your son is a very stubborn man.
Yes, very.
He won't give way.
When Nick is pushed, he pushes back with everything he has.
No matter what the cost?
Well, sometimes it costs more to walk away from a fight than to finish it.
But he cares nothing for those animals.
He's a cattleman, Mr. Freeman. But he's also a man. Now, what do you suppose would happen if tomorrow people decided that we shouldn't mine gold or grow beef?
Do you think his friends would understand that?
No, I don't. I think we all crossed the line today. And none of us can turn back.
That was fun, Carl.
Even after I tromped all over your feet?
With a little practice, you could be a very good dancer.
Well, now, if I had somebody as pretty as you to practice with, I wouldn't mind learning.
Carl.
Hmm?
That fight with Nick.
That wasn't me.
No, but you could have stopped it.
It would have taken a stack of dynamite to pry them apart, and I didn't have any with me.
Still,
Love me?
I haven't decided yet.
But what about Nick?
What?
Do you love him?
That's a silly question.
Audra, I wouldn't have asked it if I thought that. If you love him, then you can help him.
How?
Talk to him. Make him see that his friends are more important than trying to prove some point that ain't even worth proving.
You mean persuade him to give up his sheep?
He'd listen to you.
I doubt that.
It's worth a try.
No, it isn't. Nick's his own man. And I don't like being used. Especially by you.
Audra. As long as Nick has those sheep, there can't be any future for us.
Then I'll just have to take that loss.
Carl.
Oh, no.
about to send a search party out for you.
I needed some air. Though it didn't do much good.
You usually come in when you bring Audra home.
Not tonight.
I've been wanting to talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about, Nate.
You're just going to pretend those sheep aren't there, huh?
Look, the rest of us had a meeting today. We came up with a solution to your problem.
Is that a fact?
Just so everybody knows which side you're on, you slaughter those vermin right where they stand.
No.
I figured you'd say that. So we took it out of your hands.
We?
This is my valley, too, Nick. My family sweated and bled for it just like yours. And I'm not going to stand by and see it trampled to death by those sheep. Friend or no friend.
You touch just one of them sheep, Carl, and you're going to find me on your doorstep.
I'm not going anywhere, Nick. And neither are you.
Murderer, huh? Yeah, we had ought to make a man a liar.
Hey, Kelsey! Wheeler said anything short of killing.
Somebody's coming.
Josiah.
Gail.
Feel better now, Uncle Josiah?
Yes.
Audrey's gonna buy me a new dress, but I don't know which one to pick. This one, or this one. Maybe even this one.
They're all very nice. Gail, do you ever think what it would be like to live with a real mother and father? You like it here, don't you?
Audrey's nice, and she smells pretty too.
Well, you may have to stay here for a while. I've got something very, very important to do, and it might take a long time. And I have to do this without you.
Don't you want to be my uncle anymore?
I'll always be your uncle. I'll always pester you to brush your teeth and clean your plate. Because I love you. No. You be a good girl and you stay here with the Barkleys till I get back.
You're never coming back.
Of course I am, I promise.
No, you're not. That's just what you were saying.
I was just talking. No, you go inside.
I love you, Uncle Josiah.
Josiah? What's the matter?
I did this. I'm to blame.
What are you talking about?
You didn't win those sheep in that poker game. I lost them.
Full house still beats a pair of eights.
Yeah, but I had 4 eights. That's why I didn't show my hand when you called it. I won that pot.
Oh, I don't get that.
It was part of my whole plan. A plan born out of desperation. But no less a trick. I read about Jared Barkley defending a sheep herder in Fresno County, and that's when I got the idea. I figured if I could get your brother Jared into the sheep business, I'd have a partner no one could intimidate.
So you got stuck with me.
Proved a good choice, Mr. Barkley. Too good. Even getting you to protect Gale and my herd, that even worked. I was so clever, so smart. I brought all this on you.
No, you didn't bring it on. I brought it on by keeping him, and Carl Wheeler brought it on by killing him.
If you're lucky, you'll kill him. If you're not lucky, he'll kill you. In one way or the other, somebody gets hurt.
Well, he dealt the hand.
You don't have to play the hand. You don't have to play it.
He won't let me keep him. He won't even let me move him.
Let me move them.
Oh, no.
Let me move them.
No, that's exactly what they're waiting for. Besides, you wouldn't last 5 minutes on that trail.
They're my sheep, and I want...
Not the ones I won. Now, you go on back to the house. I know how to handle these people.
You're not going to drive those sheep by yourself.
I can and I will. Furthermore, if I ever find you on my range again, I just might have you arrested for trespassing.
God forgive me. And you too, Mr. Barkley.
Looks like Josiah had a better argument than we did.
Come on up, Nick. Come on. Here, take a swig of this. Feel better?
Oh, yeah. Where is Josiah?
I don't know, but the sheep are gone.
I finally met a man as stubborn and as stupid as I am. Here, come on.
Hey, wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
I know. The law should take care of this. Well, maybe the law can take care of Josiah's burying.
Now, listen, you keep talking like that, and we won't even offer to come with you.
One fool's enough in any family. Come on, get.
We gonna listen to him?
Does he listen to us?
Let's go.
That's far enough, Freeman. Where's your sheep-loving friend? I'm going through.
All we want are those sheep. You get in the way, we'll take you too.
All right, let's get it done.
You hated sheep.
Still do. But you were right. They grow on you.
I didn't want this, Nick. Then back off.
Odds like this can kill you, Carl. Throw him down, boys.
This one's yours, Jerry. Tomorrow will be yours.
We'd only be fighting ourselves, Carl, tearing down everything we built.
Tell it to your brother.
He already knows it. Now, what's it going to take to convince you?
Not that you care anymore, but cattle prices will be climbing again. Pretty soon you won't be able to see the grass for the beeves on this trip.
Carl!
Then where will your sheep be?
Carl, the people in this valley have been living in their cocoon too long. We've all grown rich and fat and smug, thinking our way was the only way. Well, now that cocoon's been ripped open, whether we like it or not. We've got millions of acres here. Room enough for both cattle and sheep.
See you, Nick.
Carl? Well, are you just gonna stand there? Or are you gonna help me round up them walking vermin?
Thanks very much for helping us pack.
Well, now, just because you sold off your sheep's no reason you have to leave so soon, you know?
Well, we've taken advantage of you long enough. Mr. Barker, you're a very fine man, and I'm very pleased to have known you.
Well, now, you're not so bad yourself for a sheep herder.
Bye, Mr. Barkley.
Goodbye, dear.
If we met that wise man, we could tell him a thing or two about living underwater, couldn't we?
Well, I think it was worth it.
Somehow it always is.